Manchester City have just kickstart 2020 in absolutely lovely fashion, and I really needed that because I'm very hungover. So thank you, City, for making that bearable. We won 2-1 with a very good performance. But before I dive into the game, I am still sponsored by OneFootball for 2020 as well. So thank you, OneFootball. Go download it in the link in the description below. It's a fantastic app with loads of Manchester City news, loads of stats, loads of latest transfer gossip and all that kind of stuff, which is big at this time of year. So make sure you download the app in the link in the description below so you don't miss out on any Manchester City news, transfer gossip, or anything else like that in the future. Go download it right now. But today, we're going to talk about City's 2-1 victory against Everton. It was good. It was a good, solid performance. It was a good, intelligent, committed, technical performance. And to be honest, apart from that one Bravo moment aside, and I'll get onto that in a bit, we were largely comfortable as well. Genuinely, we controlled the game against a team that are in good form at the moment, under Ancelotti and under Ferguson, but Duncan Ferguson, of course, before that. Everton have found some good form, but we mainly kept them quiet, and we really kind of... we just controlled the game, basically. We made Everton have to try and deal with us throughout it. And it was an interesting lineup as well. A lineup that I wasn't sure when I read it, how it was going to set up initially. It did turn out to be what most was expected, with three at the back, and it seemed to really work. We had young Eric Garcia starting again alongside Fernandinho, with Rodri back into the middle as well, with Garcia on the left, Rodri on the right, I think, of the midfield. The centre-back three. Fernandinho in the middle. Then we had Cancelo and Mendy doing their wing-back thing, which they rarely get to actually do at City. So they got the chance to be actual wing-backs, which was nice. And then we had Gundogan and De Bruyne, kind of completing a midfield four there with the wing-backs as well, so we had a 3-4-3. Then we had Foden and Mahrez drifting either side of Gabriel Jesus, also every now and then being like a number 10 themselves. And it was a really fluid display, genuinely. The formation seemed to really work. It allowed our wing-backs to get forward and be really useful. Mendy in particular thrived in this system. And we basically worked the ball up really well, genuinely. This was the first time I've seen City, not the first time. It just felt like watching City at their passing best. The amount of times we passed our defence absolutely wonderfully, and Eric Garcia was a big part of that as well, as was Fernandinho and Rodri, obviously both very comfortable on the ball too, very comfortable, in fact, exceptional on the ball, and we really found our rhythm and moving the ball up the pitch. It was really nice to see. It does feel like in the recent months we've been a little bit less good at that than we have over the years, stuff like that, but it felt like we found our rhythm, and Everton, will cause teams trouble, but they didn't really here. Now, the game did start off pretty well. We looked pretty good. Bravo made a save. He did a save, yes, early on from Coleman's lob, and he kind of just tipped it over. Nice little save. Then we did get a goal disallowed. Phil Foden put it into the back of the net. Unfortunately, though, I think it was Cancelo was ruled off. Was it Mahrez or Cancelo? I can't remember. One of the two was ruled to be offside in the build-up. That was actually fair. It was right. I mean, he was coming back, but he was still offside. Fair enough, it is what it is. Then it was a really weird moment 17 minutes in where Mahrez went in behind. He was given as offside, but then they checked the offside, and then they checked to see it was a penalty against Mahrez, and then they didn't give the offside, but then they gave a free kick to Everton. It made absolutely no sense whatsoever, and it was weird, absolutely weird. But, that's VAR in a nutshell, very confusing, and typically as well, they then proceeded to give 2 minutes of injury time despite 5 minutes of absolute nothingness. And people sat around watching the stands thinking, what is going on? But that is VAR in a nutshell. But we were good. In general, Mahrez had a few chances in that first half. One in particular stood out for me was Benjamin Mendy cross where he whipped it over the top and he put it right on, literally right on the plate for Mahrez. But he was a little bit too passive, I say, getting to the ball. He should have really done a little bit better. He also scuffed our best chance after a nice Gabriel Jesus run, was found in behind, and he cut it back to Mahrez, who put it wide, which is a shame because we probably should have deserved going in 1-0 at half-time. But we did eventually get the goal that we deserved, in my humble opinion. It was of course VAR checked, but there was nothing stopping this one. A lovely Gundogan pass into the feet of Gabriel Jesus, and his first touch was delightful, knocking it back a little bit, and doing what we saw recently where he kills it, and he killed it beautifully into the top corner, and it was well deserved. Another moment of absolute class from Gabriel Jesus, and he's starting to show some real form, and eventually got second as well. Foden was found by KDB between the lines. Foden switched it over to Mahrez, who slid it onto Gabriel Jesus' left foot, and he fired first time into the bottom corner. Just a good finish, a lovely finish once again, and he was very good throughout the game, really. I did enjoy City fans celebrating the kickoff now, because you never know if it's going to be given or not. Celebrating kickoffs is the new celebrating goals, it seems. I love that kind of stuff from City fans. It's great. Though sadly, we were looking really comfortable at this point, strolling it, and then Claudio Bravo did his Claudio Bravo thing where he got cocky. He did put a defender on his arse with a Cruyff turn, but then he just gave the ball away. Mayhem ensued. Moises Keane kind of ran into the area, and eventually the ball kind of broke loose at the back post after a Walcott scuffed shot to Richarlison, who put it in. People go to me, why are you hating on Bravo? And there's your reason, I'm having this crap. Nice guy. Crap footballer. Shame, because other than that, we should have been totally and utterly comfortable in this game. It basically put us under a really nervy last 20 minutes. Having said that, we still created loads of chances. It was a perfect Cancelo cross right onto Gabriel Jesus' head, and he should have scored that. It should have been a perfect hat-trick for him. Like a header, left foot, right foot, but unfortunately he missed it. And he also hit the post as well. Where did he hit? He went to the near post after Mahrez had freed him, but he should have gone across because he had literally the whole goal to aim at, but did nothing. Foden should have had a penalty as well, I think. He kind of bundled through Everton players and challenges, got into the box, and Mina, it looked like a penalty to me. I've only seen one replay very quickly, but it did look like a penalty to me, but whatever. And eventually, we kind of held on really to the end, despite Everton putting a little bit of a challenge. Calvert-Lewin should have been sent off for a very dangerous, cynical scissor hack on Fernandinho. Don't know why he wasn't, but that's VAR for you. That's referees. Absolutely useless. But in the end, we held on after a nervy closing, and we got a deserved victory. We were good. We were very good. I've got to point out the fact that we did start this game with two academy prospects on the pitch. I know Garcia only joined the club 2-3 years ago, but he has been an academy player. He's captain youth teams. And Foden obviously is born and bred, and 19-year-old and an 18-year-old for another week in Garcia. Starting Garcia, absolutely fantastic. We've loads of us said, and we've all noticed it, that he's not the biggest at all. He's not particularly strong, not particularly fast, but what he is supremely intelligent, like a genuine. He's a thinking man's footballer, so intelligent. And the way that he just kind of glides through games, totally accomplished, totally composed and unflustered at all times, despite being a relatively small 18-year-old lad at centre-back, up against someone like Calvert-Lewin, a big kind of physical player. It's remarkable, genuinely remarkable. Like, he'll make a mistake at some point, of course he will, and he won't always be perfect, but to do what he does already at this level, it's just genuinely fantastic. And the most impressive thing always is how he reads the game, the fact that he knows where to be, he knows when he can win a header, he knows how to just slightly put up bigger players when they're challenging for it. He also reads interceptions absolutely perfectly, and he's so crisp and so precise with his distribution. Most people's first touch is a first touch, and then looking up, his first touch is a pass, always perfectly breaking the lines into midfield. And he started so many moves for us by just thinking quicker than anyone else. Absolutely great performance. Fernandinho alongside him was an absolute rock. He has to stay. We surely have to find a way to extend his contract. We better have, because he continues to be a Rolls Royce of a player, and we need someone like him to help us complete the transition to whatever the next bunch of legends are going to be. Someone like him for another season is absolutely critical. Rodri, good alongside him as well. Rodri looked comfortable in this role. Every now and then he was stepping into midfield, linking up with Gundogan and De Bruyne really nicely. A good performance. Some lovely crossfield passes as well from him and Fernandinho in particular. I really like the wing backs thing. I think it worked. I thought Mendy was probably the better of the two, but then most of the play did go down the left-hand side. He looked dynamic. That was the most exciting thing for me about Mendy. He looked fit. He looked physically fit. He was running really well. Loads of energy. And he got forward really well all game. Very little defending to do what he did. He did it pretty well. Can't complain. He should have had an assist for Mahrez. He picked out a few people constantly every time he got down the wing. Linked up really well with Foden. Just a good performance. Cancelo was good on the other side. Like, defended really well. Some really nice defensive moments in some tight situations. And he should have an assist as well for Gabriel Jesus. He was unlucky to have a goal, an assist ruled out as well for Foden. Very unlucky because, he didn't really do anything wrong, really. So it was very unlucky because it was a good cross. But it was a good performance from him. Gundogan, really intelligent in the midfield, kind of holding role. But he was like a double pivot alongside Kevin De Bruyne. Just picking up passes. Got a really nice assist for Gabriel Jesus. Just intelligent. De Bruyne nowhere near his like most explosive best. But once again, a good, intelligent cog in a very cohesive system. I really like Foden's display. It wasn't a headline grabbing display, but it was a mature performance and very useful. And it was good to see him get a good solid 80 minutes as well. A few moments towards the end where he started to find his rhythm and he started to run at people, terrified Everton, and I really enjoyed that. But overall, he was constantly linking up and being involved in the pass before the pass that set up a chance. I really liked it. It was very, very effective. Gabriel Jesus everywhere, started slowly, but then wonderful goals, genuinely really good goals. He should have had a hat-trick really, but it was a good performance. Mahrez, excellent, really nice play once again, linking up with everyone else. It was just a good performance, and I really like this system. It seemed to work. No big players in that team in terms of none of our biggest players like David Silva, Aguero, Sterling, just not in that team, all on the bench. Bernardo on the bench as well. No Otamendi and Stones in the squad at all. Yet we were still very, very composed. It was a performance full of conviction, desire, intelligence, and Guardiola will be very happy about that. You've got to say, Eric Garcia, he's playing his way into that first team. Now, Guardiola really loves Garcia already because he's intelligent. There's that great anecdote about how in a one warm-up where he pointed out to Guardiola that he thought the team were going to be playing three at the back as he noticed it during like the pre-warm-up, and he appeared he was correct. So Guardiola really admires his intelligence in general, and the fact that he's this composed already, and he probably has some doubts about Stones and Otamendi's reliability, well, he might be jumping ahead of some senior pros here, definitely. And if he does, he's actually earned it because he's a fantastic player and he's still only 18 for another week as well. Absolutely fantastic talent. Guys, that was a good performance. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you had a wonderful New Year, by the way. Happy New Year to everyone. I am absolutely hanging today. Generally very bad, but I'm just about trying to get over it because it was... I don't even know what happened last night. 5:30, 6. Nicola's very tired over there as well. Absolutely podged on the sofa over there. But it was nice. Anyway, subscribe, comment, download OneFootball, the usual stuff. And I'll be back tomorrow for 5 things that we learned from this game. Spoiler, it's going to contain Garcia in a bit.